Hello and welcome back to Run My Arts watercolor tutorial series. And today's demonstration is about the two main watercolor techniques, which is wet on wet versus wet on dry. And I thought since it's autumn season and the autumn foliages will be the best way for me to demonstrate these two different techniques, since they have all sort of gradient shades and marks, which gives that extra character and vibrancy in the autumn foliages. So moving on, I'll be demonstrating today's tutorial on Hahnemuhle Britannia cold press watercolor paper, 300 grams per square meter. And as you can notice, I have pre-sketched the basic shape of the leaves and I've separated them under the wet on dry category and wet on wet. So I'm going to kickstart the demonstration with the wet on dry technique. And as you can see here, I'm mixing some nice wash of yellow ochre. It's not a very watery consistency, but fairly thick. And apply this basic wash of yellow ochre onto the dry surface of the paper, painting on the leaf motif that I've pre-sketched earlier. So nothing complicated, just some basic wash of the paint onto the dry surface of the paper. And from the vibrancy of the paint, you can tell that it is fairly thick and not very watery in consistency. So moving on, I'm going to make the same basic wash onto the other leaf motif, but this time I'm just painting it halfway through because I have decided to drop in a second color, which is permanent carmine. And my motive is to show you how you can drop in two different colors on the same subject of the painting, which in this case is the leaf motif, using the wet on dry technique. So as you can see here, the permanent carmine shade paint is also fairly thick, similar to the yellow ochre, and as they meet on the same paper, you can see some color blending going on, but in a very minimal effect and not too much of pigment movement. So next I'm going to make the same basic wash of yellow ochre onto the third leaf motif, and I'm going to just let it dry, and I'll make further adjustment once this leaf motif is completely dry. Simply because this is a wet on dry technique, it is fair enough for me to show how you make the adjustments or further layers once the first layer of painting is dry. So as I wait for the wet on dry painting to completely dry, I'm going to move on to demonstrate the wet on wet technique. So kickstarting with a pre-wash of clean water onto the leaf motif. And since this is the first layer of painting, so obviously you will have to pre-wet your painting surface with some clean water using this wet on wet technique. And once done pre-wetting, I'm going to apply the same yellow ochre with the same thickness consistency that I used for the wet on dry technique. I'm just going to give it some light washes. Actually, you can just drop in the paint in a very minimal way. As you can witness here, the moment the tip of the brush touches the pre-wet area, the paint pigment bleeds instantly, which shows that the water in the pre-wet surface is already acting as a medium to make the pigments bleed besides the wet paint itself. So which is why you see a lot of pigment movement in the entire painting. And of course you can control the movement if you make very minimal brush strokes. In fact, you can stop from dropping in the pigment on certain part of the pre-wet surface, unlike the wet on dry technique where you have to make the basic wash with the paint itself. Next, I'm just dropping in some sapphire mixed with burnt sienna. Basically, it's a brown shade mix. I'm using my micro brush since this is already a pre-wet surface and I want some marks on the autumn foliage, so I've decided to use a micro brush instead of a large Bristol brush. And you can see those bleeding happening from the droplets of paint that I've dropped in. And This bleeding is assisted by the wet paint, the pre-wet surface, as well as the wet yellow ochre paint. So basically this is what we do in wet on wet technique. So since there's a lot of pigment bleeding on the wet painting, often the wet on wet technique results in very soft washes of the painting. So once the painting is dry, it will appear much lighter in nature, simply because the extra water from the pre-wet surface has diluted the paint further. So if you like your painting to appear much softer and lighter in nature, then this technique would best suit your needs. In fact, it becomes a deciding factor whether you should add in more layers of paint as you progress in your painting. So moving on to the second demonstration of the wet on wet technique, I am going to paint it with the similar paint combination, which is the yellow ochre and permanent carmine that are used in the wet on dry technique. So I am just going to drop in the yellow ochre first, also the same thick paint consistency, but of course on the pre-wet surface. And as you already know, it bleeds quite quickly onto the pre-wet surface, and followed by the permanent carmine. And I am using the rigger brush instead of the mop style brush to drop in this permanent carmine pigment, simply because in the wet on dry technique I had to make major brush stroke in order to make the permanent carmine and yellow ochre meet, whereas in this case on the wet on wet technique the paper is already pre-wet, so I just need a very minimal pigment movement to help them bleed into each other. Whereas in the wet on dry technique, you can notice on the right hand screen that the color blending, pigment blending or bleeding into each other is very minimal. You have control over it, but you have very less impact of the color mixing. So as for the third leaf motif, I am going to paint it similar to the second leaf motif, which is the combination of yellow ochre and permanent carmine, and I will show you at a later stage how to make further adjustments once the wet on wet painting has completely dried. You can tilt your watercolor paper to help with the flow of the paint in both techniques. It is more effective in wet on wet technique. Alright, now that the wet on dry painting is completely dry, I am going to make some details, create some details onto the dry painting of the purely yellow shade leaf. So I am going to use my micro brush and paint in some spots and marks on the corners of the leaves using the dark brown shade. It's a mixture of burnt sienna and a little bit of sapphire. And as you can notice, since I am painting this onto the dried motif of the leaf, there is no further bleeding of the pigment. So it's basically very sharp details that result in hard edges, as opposed to the one that I showed in the wet on wet technique, whereby the brown spots appeared much softer because they started bleeding onto the wet painting. So if you like the look of these sharp appearances of details, then you can leave it as it is, but my suggestion would be to give them some light washes using a clean damp brush. So you just need to squeeze out excess water from your clean brush, make sure it's damp, and just apply some light washes onto the hard pigmented area so that they appear much lighter and blended with the first layer of painting. So if you like to have more control on these fine details on your paintings, then you can use the wet on dry technique, where you allow the first layer of painting to dry and then apply the second layer of painting with the details. And if you think those light washes has somehow brush off some of the details that you wanted to preserve, you can just jump back and repaint the details. So just a quick comparison on the two yellow shaded leaves. One is a wet on dry technique, which resulted in very vibrant shade and sharp details, compared to the wet on wet technique that resulted in soft blooms of pigment. And as for the second leaf motif, which consists of the dual shade, you can notice that it is still very vibrant in the wet on dry technique with lesser color blending or pigment bleeding, whereas it is appearing much lighter with more pigment blending in the wet on wet technique. And here's a quick show of how to apply all the tiny details or further details onto the second leaf motif of the wet on dry technique. So it's very similar to the yellow leaf motif. It's just that this consists of dual tone. And it is always advisable to use a micro brush or a scrape brush to apply in all those tiny details, as in spots, marks, or even fine lines in the form of veins on the leaf painting. And after applying the details, I'm just giving the paint some light washes using a clean damp brush, similar to what I did with the first leaf. So moving on to the third leaf motif under the wet on dry technique, I'm going to glaze a light mix of permanent carmine shade onto the dry surface of the painting. This is to show you the transition of the yellow leaf into a different colored leaf by applying the glazing method, which is a light mix of paint shade onto the earlier painting layer. And I haven't completely painted the whole leaf, just to show you the differences between these two layers of painting. In other words, the first layer of painting, which is the yellow ochre, acts as an underpainting for the second layer, which is being glazed with the permanent carmine. So if you are afraid of mixing two colors or minimize too much color blending and you would like to go slow and steady and paint it by layers, then this would be the right technique for you. So moving on to the wet on wet technique, I'm going to show you how to drop in small details onto the second leaf motif, which has the dual color. And how you can do this is by once again using the wet on wet technique. So I am going to pre-wet this dry surface of the painting with some clean water, and then dropping in some wet paint mix, which is brown shade, using the micro brush so that I get a similar details like the one on the first leaf motif on the wet on wet technique. So basically what I'm trying to show you is that using the wet on wet technique, you don't really have to put in the details during the first layer of painting itself. You can wait for the entire painting of one or two shades to dry completely and then re-wet them with some clean water and dropping in details at a later stage. So now I am going to demonstrate to you how you can make second layer of paint washes together with details onto the third leaf motif. So basically you are going to repaint the same combination of paint shades together with the details, and often we do this when we realize that the painting has dried off very faint or faded, simply because given the nature of the watercolor, which is transparent, and the nature of the wet on wet technique, which results in very soft washes. So once again I am pre-wetting the painting surface with some clean water before I drop in the same shades, which is yellow ochre and permanent carmine. And as you make your brush strokes, you can use the first layer as your guide, since the paint bleeding pattern is already pre-existing, or you can modify it further by overlapping the entire painting. It's all in your hands. And once I'm satisfied with the look of the second layer of paint shades, I'm going to drop in the darker brown shade for the tiny details in the form of droplets and lines, fine lines, as in leaf veins or the corners of the leaves. And that's how you make the second layer of painting using the wet on wet technique. So this is how all the leaf motifs looks like once they are dry. I would say all of them appears to look very vibrant and interesting, and all that matters is which technique suits you the best and what is the result you are looking for. Usually in my experience, I would say that the best painting results from the combination of both these techniques, wet on dry with wet on wet. It's just a matter of at which layer you want this effect to take place. So if you'd like to learn further how I use a combination of both these techniques to paint this beautiful looking foliage, then do check out the video link in the description. And if you find this video fun and educational, then do hit the like and share button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in another tutorial. Bye.